Kids, don't worry, there's no porn in it. It's just a word. Okay, so Connor asked me, I spoke at the first one, and then Connor asked me if I'd speak at the second one. And he said the reason why he wanted me to speak at the second one is because that Dublin Ignite needed their own John Ratzenberger. So I said, of course, everybody wants to be a John Ratzenberger, so sure, I'll do it. But what he meant was, John Ratzenberger has been featured in every Pixar movie since they started making movies. And the reason why Pixar does that is they claim that he's their lucky charm. But I think it's different than that. I think it's because when you hear John Ratzenberger's voice coming out of a character, it's shorthand. It conveys information. You know that John Ratzenberger means something. And I started thinking about information, and we're just bombarded with information. And there's this thing called information overload, which was actually a term coined in 1970 in a book called Future Shock that just, this is something that man has been struggling with for many, many years. Back to the prehistory when Plato tells us that Socrates was worried about writing. He said that writing would not let people carry around the information in their heads. They'd let that happen on paper. So something we've been struggling with continuously. And porn is one of the harbingers of this, because porn is going to stop making porn with narratives. And I don't know about you, because everybody's consuming their information, their porn in 3 or 5 minute segments. And I don't know about you, a world where porn narratives don't matter is not a world I want to live in. But I have a theory why this is happening. And I call it the Christmas morning theory. You remember when you were a kid, you had all this stuff happening and you were overstimulated and there was all this information. And that's kind of the way information is working these days. It's a very nascent technology. But as you move further away from Christmas morning, you start to boil down the toys that you want to play with. And sometimes there's the simplest toys. So I think that we're going to move into an era where the simplicity of information is more important. Because when you look at the tools we use now, Clay Shirky is a very bright technologist. He says it's not a problem with information, it's a problem with our filters. And if you use Google, it tells me that I have 3 million hits. That doesn't help me. What am I supposed to do with 3 million hits? So what I'm going to tell you is there is technologies out there that's going to help us. I made a top 10 list that I'm going to deliver to you in 2.5 minutes because I think irony is great. So strap in. Number 10. Forced ignorance, spam filters. We use it right now. They block penis enlargement and Viagra ads from coming into our inboxes. But what we really need is we need a spam filter that when someone sends you a cute picture of a cat, it will dispatch a hitman to go kill that person. We need really good spam filters. Crowdsourcing, Dig, Delicious. Let's use the wisdom of the crowds, right? That's great, except most people are really pretty stupid. So there's opportunities there. We just need to figure out how to leverage them a little bit better. The next one is called content curation. Let's ask an actual human being. The problem with that is that people have to spend time answering those questions. And unless you're Nike and you have a bunch of little kids in Taiwan somewhere making your sneakers, that costs money. Sorry, Nike. I'm wearing Nikes. More intelligent agents. This is my least favorite slide in the world because I hate Clippy. I hate it. I just want it off the screen. I need software that anticipates and learns, not bothers me. It doesn't assault me with stupid questions. Semantics, which is information that becomes self-aware. So if I'm investigating travel plans and I then go to Google and I Google John F. Kennedy, I expect it to know that I'm talking about the airport and not the dead president. So information needs to become self-aware. It needs to become contextualized. Convergence. I have like 3 $500 electronic equipment pieces on me right now as I'm speaking to you. That's crazy. We need to figure out how do we make one device, how do we unify all this information rather than fragmenting it? And that's what really a lot of the confusion comes in. Design serendipity. Amazon's very good at this. You like this, you might like that. We need to bring that into the way we consume information, the way we search for information. All the information shouldn't be self-directed. A lot of it should be very intuitive. And unfortunately, it's not that way. Better interfaces. This is a legal requirement. Anytime you talk about interfaces of the future, you have to have a picture of Minority Report. That's just required. But mice and keyboards are not the best way to explore complex data sets. So we're going to need to work on that. And evolution. You know what? It may be that people are just going to learn to absorb more information, have 2 conversations at once, and literally multitask on a meta level. And the people who can do that are really good. And finally, unplug. You know, we don't always need to be online. We don't always need to be consuming information, answering our emails. And if you can't tell, this is an internal dialogue. I'm trying to convince myself because I rarely unplug. And at the very end of the day, the best things in life are not things, and they're not information. The best things in life are beer. And I'm going to go have one right now. Thank you very much.